We are potting. How about you, everybody? And aloha. Welcome to the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. And I'm joined, as I always am, 60% of the time, by Mr. Jhead and Mr. Cole Pinkston. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
How about you, brother?
How about you, everybody? Keith made a little stop today. Y'all see Keith?
Yeah, he did.
On the corner?
Yeah, I talked to Neebs probably about 2 weeks ago, man.
Lord have mercy.
I'm telling
you. He's still talking, ain't he?
Just a little bit.
Oh man, got a lot to talk about today. Want to do I've been following everything. Just haven't been hands-on with it, but I've been following all the news, the commitments. But we'd like to do a quick little recap to kind of catch me up to speed. We'll do a quick little recap. We'll get to some questions from the corner. But first, as I was gone, we landed a new temporary, at least, sponsor. Yeah. Bird Dogs. Bird Dog shorts, folks. If you haven't heard of these, you will now. They make you look good, son. Look at this.
Hold on. Let's get this modeling in here.
Look at this right here, you dog.
Hey, look at that.
What? You know what I'm saying? Hey, if they'll make me look good, imagine what they'll do for your ugly ass. Hey, no, see, I love them, man. They've got this liner on the inside. Bird Dogs. So good stuff, man. Bird Dog shorts. If you're looking to got these khaki shorts, they're designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and the leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. They do exact same thing as Lululemon, whatever that is, but they feel way better. Lululemon chick stuff.
Oh, they got some men stuff. I
think. Really?
Dude stuff. Look, I got a buddy that swears by Lululemon shit.
Are you serious?
But he prefers Bird Dogs.
Okay.
It's Bird Dogs.
Hey, I love these Bird Dogs. Then check it out. I got these right here too, man. Bird Dogs.
Oh, that's cool.
Bird Dogs for the big dogs, if you know what I'm saying. They feel way better than regular shorts. They really do. They feel great. You know how the regular shorts, those cotton shorts made of stiff, restricting cotton?
Yes.
Sure. Well, they fixed this issue, man. They invented this cloud knit fabric that looks like khaki, but stretches so you can get a waistline fit. Having a sacrifice movement. Bird Dogs uses anti-stink sweat. Of course, I don't need that. But it does have this liner, man. It's got a liner on the inside. Check this out.
It looks like Jhead Stadium.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, we love Bird Dogs, man. I do. I am a new lover of the Bird Dogs. Even got me some pants, some stretch pants. They got this liner on the inside. It's great stuff, man. And listen, we got a special promotion for all you that want to try Bird Dogs, or if you want to get some more Bird Dogs, do it, man. Go to birddogs.com/Auburn, AUBURN in all caps, or just enter the promo code Auburn, all caps, for a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. Man, I'm out of breath. That's birddogs.com/Auburn, all caps, or promo code Auburn, all caps, for a free Yeti style tumbler. You will not be disappointed. We promise you. Bird Dogs, man. We appreciate them. Everybody give them a try. I have. And look, Jessica, I'm going to have to lock her out. She saw me in these shorts. Just calm down, big dog. Calm down. Got to do a show. All right. Appreciate you, Bird Dogs. Okay. Since I have been gone, Auburn has picked up a commitment from Malik Blockton. I think that was shortly after I left.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Also added Jalen Crawford.
Yes.
I thought some other big news that I noticed while I was gone was the decommitment of Jalen A.P. Hayward from Georgia.
Yes.
Who is expected to be at Big Cat. We saw DeAndre Carter confirm that he will be at Big Cat coming all the way from California. And what else? Is that kind of the high points of the last 8 days?
Absolutely the high points. And then, of course, we're always coming up on a July 26th decision by Marcus Riddick. So a lot of news in the Auburn sphere for these last couple of days, but glad to have my more tan brother back now. A little bit of a red tint, little bit, but more tan.
I got to tell you, man, me and Brooks were about as ginger as they come. White. And we kicked that son's booty all week long, man. We did a great job. We had the SPF 50 the spray, but they want you to spray it in Hawaii because of the reef. Apparently, it's reef unfriendly.
Sure.
So we just caked it on. And then, all right, so Malik Blockton, I'm sure y'all talked about. I have heard y'all talk about him. Jalen Crawford, big deal commitment there. Jalen Hayward. Cole, I saw you write something about him on the corner. I believe it was this morning or last night. I can't remember. I got in last night. I think I've slept for 12 hours, so I'm still a little lagged. But you said you thought UCF might be the main competition for him. And from what I did a little checking before we came on the show, and I concur. Jalen Hayward likes the attention. Apparently, UCF has given him a lot of attention.
Yeah, Addison Williams, Jhead, is that?
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. A former Auburn analyst here underneath Gus.
Good dude.
Yeah, really good guy, and somebody that's going to be an up-and-comer in the coaching business, but he's done a great job there.
Yeah, I think people need to remember last cycle, Braden Marshall, and that's the guy that Auburn coaches would tell you that they wanted. And, they wouldn't mince words and say, we let him go. No, that's not what happened. Addison Williams and UCF did a good job with that guy, got him there. You got to remember, too, Jalen Hayward is a Rockledge, Florida guy. So UCF, I think, is one of the reasons he decommitted from Georgia. I honestly believe that. Now, if he's going to be at Big Cat Weekend, he's going to take part in that. I think he's obviously friends with KJ Bolden, who's going to be there, and some other guys. I think Auburn's in this too, and that's why I say Auburn UCF battle. Miami, I think, kind of in there, but I think they prefer Zaquan Patterson. So, and they seem to have a good shot with him. So Florida, don't think they're really in it. Keith jumped on the site last night and said the same. So maybe Auburn UCF there.
I do want to talk about a couple of D linemen, man. There's been some movement. A new name. I can't remember. I think one of us broke the news that Dimitri Nicholas, the South Florida defensive lineman, is coming to Big Cat, and DeAndre Carter is coming. He's the offensive lineman. I was going to talk about TJ Lindsey though, because I said on a kid, man, this is we were flying from LA. We hit a little midpoint in LA, let the kids get off and walk around. On the way over there, we did the halfway stop in LA, and we got off, and I was like, maybe we'll see a movie star in the airport, right? We saw some TikTok girl, CC Coco Head or something, and then we saw young Biscuit and Gravy.
Okay.
Young Biscuit.
I got this
Gravy Biscuit. Hold on. Young Gravy. Is that his name?
I don't
Brother,
know.
I am not on the TikTok.
Eli Double-Lot knows what I'm talking about. Yes. Okay. Zach in the back said it's young.
Yeah, man.
Biscuit.
I'm too old for that now.
Young Gravy and Coco Melon. I don't think that was it. Anyways, so on the way back, we stopped at LAX again, got on the phone, got on the airline, and sat next to this kid who had IMG shorts on. I was like, damn, dude, where you at? I camped there, but I know a lot of kids there. I was like, oh, really? TJ Lindsey, yeah, he's coming in late, but yeah, I did meet him. Anyways, I don't know, it's not really relevant, but TJ Lindsey,
yes,
told me before I left that he is not going to be able to make it to Big Cat, that they practiced that weekend. IMG is hard to get out of practice. Sure. But we think he is definitely a top defensive line target for Auburn. Cole wrote Auburn, Texas, still some other schools involved, but Auburn, Texas. And then this Dimitri Nicholas, man, what do you know about him, Cole, or Jhead, either one of you? I don't know much about him, only that he's coming to Big Cat.
Yeah, I talked on the phone with him and did an interview with him. And,
cool.
I think he's got Florida and Miami in there, the two in-state schools. He named Louisville and Pitt, I believe, were some other ones. So I don't know who all's pursuing him heavily. I don't know his whole recruitment yet, like I do with some of these guys. But I do know that he's interested in Auburn and Jeremy Garrett, and this will be his first trip to Auburn. This will be his first time meeting Jeremy Garrett in person. I know that Jeremy Garrett likes this guy a lot. He's a guy that's moved up the board as of late. And the reason is because he's kind of that solid interior guy where you have a couple guys like Malik Blockton that can move around and play some different spots. This guy sort of fits in one spot, and versatility is a big deal, but you also got to have a guy that can play nose, a guy that can play the three, specifically. So this is a guy that can do that. And I think if they're trying to get 3 or 4 guys, this could be a potential, he could potentially land in the class for that reason.
And I did some checking around myself, Cole. 100%. I'm told that Pitt is in that. Charlie Partridge, the defensive line coach for Pittsburgh, who's had a lot of success in the South Florida area, former head coach at FAU, and defensive line coach under Brett Bielema at both Wisconsin and Arkansas, is one of the better defensive line coaches in all of college football, is pursuing this kid relatively hard. I think Florida and like Miami are in there as well, like you said. Maybe Louisville, I'm not sure. He's a kid that just transferred to Miami Norland. And like you said, he's now being coached by Junior Rosegreen. That's where Junior's at these days. And he's a guy that I would compare to a former Dillard pipeline guy in Pat Sims, a guy that Jeffrey covered way back in the day. Frames now at about 6'3", 6'4", right around 280 pounds, definitely an interior guy, probably a 1 or a 3 tech. I'm not quite sure if he's going to get big enough to play over the zero nose, but maybe in a lighter front, you're right. But somebody with a lot of really good power, some good offers. And once again, while people may not be blown away by the fact that Pitt's involved, Charlie Partridge is a fantastic defensive line coach. And if he's pursuing the kid, it's absolutely worth Auburn's time to do their due diligence there. That's for sure.
Another guy who was added quietly, or I jumped on there a couple of days after I've probably not been on there, and I noticed his name, Duke freaking Watson. I think y'all talked a little bit about him.
Right. That's right.
But how about the 4-star running back from Louisville that Auburn jumped in the game? I think back in June, late June, offered him and some other kid. I can't remember the other guy.
Caden Durham.
That's what I said. And Duke Watson. So he's coming.
Yeah. So Jeffrey, you had talked to him before you left and did an interview story with him, and I noticed he said that he might visit soon. So I kind of checked back on that. So, hey man, you gonna be at Big Cat? Yes, sir. All right.
That's the one we thought, of the two.
Yes, right. And I think he's committed to Louisville. He's a 4-star guy. Over there in Georgia, Forsyth, I believe, is where he's from.
Correct.
So, I mean, you'd have to think if Auburn really wanted this guy, they could probably make it happen. Now, I don't know. I don't know if something else we found out that's interesting and pertains to this, Jeffrey, is that Nate Frazier put Auburn in his top 8.
I saw that.
The more I've checked into that one, the more I realize, oh wow, Cadillac really likes this guy, and is gonna work that angle the best he can. Obviously, this is a guy from California, modern day, and correct me if I'm wrong here. There's a couple of modern day high schools in that area, right?
Yes, there are.
Is he at the same high
Santa
school?
Ana.
He's at the one with DeAndre Carter, correct?
Correct.
All right, so there's an angle.
Nathaniel Frazier.
Right. So there's an angle. If you were to land DeAndre Carter, you go, hey, we got the guy that's been paving the way for you, helped you become a 5-star running back. Maybe Auburn could get in this one and get an official visit or something like that out of him. I don't know.
On three's got him as the number 1 running back in the country, 5-star, number 15 overall recruit, Nathaniel Frazier, DeAndre Carter's teammate. Sorry, Cole, keep going.
No, that's the thing. I mean, we just don't know where Auburn is with him, but we know that Cadillac likes him, and there's an angle there that you can start working if you were to get DeAndre Carter in the boat, which if he's coming to Big Cat all the way from California, that's a possibility. So, but back to Watson, he's going to be there, and that's a guy that I think has moved up Cadillac's board here. And obviously they want another running back to go with Fat, because Fat is sort of like, I'm not going to say he's pigeonholed, but he's a power, heavy runner.
Yeah.
You want somebody to combat that a little bit.
I'll be checking on Frazier, man. If Auburn's in his top 8, they're in there for a reason. He's going to visit, right? You would think so. What better time than to fly with your buddy and teammate at the end of the month?
Yeah.
To Big Cat. Definitely be looking into that. Nathaniel Frazier, definitely a name to keep an eye on moving forward. It might be a type where, if we can get him, obviously we're going to get him. And if we can't, we come back to Watson.
Yeah.
Now, how long do you wait on Frazier? I don't know. I wouldn't wait long. But I feel like you could get Watson at any time. You should be able to, right?
I think so, yeah.
All things being equal, yes. Now, I don't know from an NIL standpoint what Louisville's done to keep Watson in the class. That's the equalizer these days, and what they're willing to pay to keep him in the class. And then what his value is to Auburn. I think all this is so new. We don't really know how – Auburn values him enough to offer him. They value him enough to bring him in for Big Cat Weekend. I assume he'll probably also be in for an official visit. So we'll probably know more as the visits continue to transpire. But it's hard to say what Louisville's willing to do and what Auburn's willing to do for Duke Watson at this point.
Very good.
I noticed too, by the way, that Duke Watson has been working with Brad Lester, which if you keep up with Brad Lester, who isn't working with him? That dude's doing a great job. He's Alabama running backs, Auburn running backs, Tank Bigsby. But Duke Watson's one of his guys too.
He trained, there's a big, it might have been the Heisman winner of Alabama not too long ago.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, Najee Harris was the big.
Was that who it was?
Yeah. He was training both Najee and Tank at the same time.
Brad Lester, and I think I saw he was back in Auburn not too long ago.
He was.
He's a great.
By the way, Jeffrey, you missed his dad. Brad Lester's dad was at Jalen Crawford's announcement.
Mr. Willie.
Yes. And he was a very nice man. He set me up.
Love Mr. Willie.
He's like, you can sit right here. I think this will be the best view for you. And
I'll be darned.
He's like, man, I'm a big Auburn guy. I think today's a good day, man. It was before, so he was good. I enjoyed talking to him.
I got to know Mr. Willie.
Yeah, Brad went to Parkview as well, correct? I think that's where he went.
Did.
Yeah.
He was in the same class as Jeff Francoeur, if I remember correctly, former of the
I believe it was. Yes. But Brad Lester, awesome dude, his dad, Mr. Willie. I love Mr. Willie. Always been good to me. Let's if I might think of something else that I want y'all to talk to me about. In the meantime, let's hit some questions from the corner, a little QFTC.
Yep.
Had a few already buzzing. Oh, Coochie. Oh, Coochie Rabbit 8908, not to be confused with Coochie Rabbit 8907. What do you think is the tier list of the remaining DB targets? Okay, I think that's a great question. I have an answer for you. This was unless it's dated, and I mean, it's not that bad dated. But well, we know KJ Bolden.
Yes.
Excuse me. Who else?
Zaquan Patterson and then AP Howard all there at the safety position. And I'm sure KJ's number one. I mean, it would be logical for him to be number one on most everybody's board.
Who did you say, KJ?
KJ Bolden would probably be number one. I don't truly know between Zaquan Patterson and AP Howard who's two, or if it even matters, if it would be a first in the boat type situation. And then at the corner position, obviously, Jalewis Salmon would be the next one there.
Yeah.
I think at corner, they probably, if you miss on Salmon for whatever the reason, you probably just go to the transfer portal at that point. At safety, I think they are bound and determined to get themselves a boundary safety in this class, and they're going to try like hell to get one of those three.
Yeah. I feel good to say before Jalen Crawford, the top four overall remaining DB recruits, Solomon, KJ Bolden, Jalen Crawford, and Zaquan Patterson.
Yes.
I think you've got Crawford on board, and I think Hayward is in there too. But
yes.
I think he might be I would have Solomon, KJ, and Patterson as my top three overall. I know they play different positions, and then I'd probably have the start of the second tier with Hayward.
Okay.
Right
that
now.
Right.
No, I think that's fair. And our recruitment of him is, and Cole covered this, covertly we've been communicating with him. I'm sure it won't be covertly anymore. It'll be more open. But go ahead.
You're right. You're all over that. There's a lot of interest in Hayward, no doubt.
So definite interest there. So I think he's rising somewhat, but I would not disagree with you with Bolden and Patterson being over him at this point. Will it be that way in the end? I honestly have no idea. I like the versatility to AP's game. And I found this out too. This was an interesting nugget. The nickname AP is because he was a legendary running back in the Miami area as a youth player, and he was referred to as Adrian Peterson.
Get out of town.
Yes. If you watch his high school clips, he plays a lot of running back for Rockledge. I think he was around 500 yards rushing this past year, but that's where the nickname AP comes from. A lot of versatility to his game. He lines up as a corner at the nickel as well as at the field safety spot. So he's the kind of guy that you can plug into multiple different positions and you back in.
Definitely.
Oh, I like it. Ace is full. How many commits by game one? How many commits does Auburn have right now?
11.
Oh, So would you say 15
Yes.
by game one?
Yeah, 15 to 17.
Yeah. I'm with you in that range, Cole. I think it could be. Last I did my thought process on where we'd be. I think we'll be at 12 before Big Cat. I've been on record as saying that. I think post Big Cat, you're in line to get 3 to 4 more
Before September.
Yes.
Good stuff. Ace is full. Let's see. Oh, Webb. What is the likelihood Auburn lands Bryce Kane, Perry Thompson, Mario Craver, and Malcolm Simmons at the wide receiver position?
Cole?
What is the likelihood?
Thompson, not very high.
I don't think so either.
I think 3's the limit. Almost. It depends on who the 3 is, but I think 3 is the limit.
I think Auburn gets Bryce Kane, and then if you can get Perry Thompson, and then you get Simmons, there's your 3. And then if you can get Cuz down the road on signing day, you get him. And if not, I just don't see Auburn taking both Craver and Simmons.
No, I'm with you. And I think right now, Malcolm Simmons is probably the play if you're going to move on that target. You know what I mean? But between Craver and Simmons, I think the preference right now is for Simmons. If you're going to make that move. But I'm with you, Jay Lee. I think you can take 4, but it's got to be the right 4, right? It's not going to be,
I'm glad you were talking because I would have done the same thing. Go fill us in. A quick update real quick.
Somehow, Clemson linebacker T.J. Dudley, who is originally from Montgomery Catholic, has hit the portal at Clemson. That was a big Auburn target when he was
L for Auburn.
Yep.
Now, is he a grad transfer, Cole? How long has he been in college?
No, definitely not. He was in the 22 class, I believe.
Okay.
Unless he graduated in a year and a half. I don't think he did. So he's late.
You don't have to sit.
Seems like it.
Yeah, you could absolutely take him. So they can enter the port.
2022.
They can transfer, but they are not immediately eligible to participate. They had to have to sit out here and be penalized. That's the situation.
And that cat ain't going, lower. I just don't think he would go to an FCS.
He's not returning home to Alabama State.
I don't think so. And Jhead, you probably know the rules on this. If he goes to an FCS program, he can play, right?
Yes. Anytime you go down a level, you are eligible to play immediately. Now, his options are limited in the state of Alabama to now just Samford and Alabama State, with Jacksonville State moving up to the group of 5, and they're now in Conference USA. So he would be relatively limited if he's planning on coming back home and dropping down a level, and I don't see that necessarily happen. I'm with you. I think he's just looking for someplace probably closer to home that maybe is going to give him an opportunity to play sooner rather than later.
Stack in the back says North UNA, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, and the Bulldogs of Samford.
Yeah, so you got a few options there, but
again, Zach was going to correct me.
But yes, I think Auburn takes 3 guys. We all do, and doubtful that Craver and Simmons both. But who knows? We'll see what happens. But as of now, AU Fan 72. How much recruiting information do editors with other schools' pages share with each other? This is a good question for the fans. So I take it as, how much information are we sharing with our Alabama people, our Georgia people, our LSU people, our A&M people? Cole, you.
Sure. Yeah, it's a network, man. I think it's important. That's something that I've figured out in the early stages of me doing this job, is you definitely should have relationships with those guys and see what they're hearing, because they're talking directly to the staffs that they cover. Just like, we talk directly to our sources that are close to Auburn. So, yeah, you definitely, I think it's important to have relationships with those guys.
I do. I try to keep it personal. I don't want to say, "Hey, what's A&M?" And I certainly don't say, "Hey, man, Auburn's not going to take him." Or anything. I'm not giving away what my people are saying to me.
Sure.
Because I know where it's going, and they understand. It's the same thing for them. I just honestly want to say, "Hey, man, how do you feel about, Merle Haggard?"
It's a mood tracker, right? Like, you're just trying to get the feeling so you can kind of judge or determine how to peg a recruitment on your end.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just tracking the mood. Like, is the vibe positive?
I'm not going, "Hey, Auburn's going to take 2 more linebackers. They're not going to take Wyatt Simmons. So, tell Arkansas coaches it's a go for them."
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not doing that shit. No.
No.
And
but yes,
going to these like Under Armour camps and stuff where you get together with all the guys from all the other sites, you start to get close with everybody, and that's where it starts. And then it becomes more of a relationship where you do go, hey, I heard Texas is making a move on Malik Blockman.
Yeah.
What
are you hearing on Malik? What are you hearing on TJ Lindsey?
Sure.
I'm hearing people close to him. There you go. I'm hearing people close to him think Texas is making a move. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Speaking of
what a segue.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Straight into Matt_McT. What's all this new buzz with Lindsey about? Cole?
Auburn wants him, and Auburn has a great chance with him, I think. A growing chance, I would say. I don't know if I want to say great yet because I don't – if I felt great about it, I would have a pick in right now, and I'm not ready to do that.
50-50?
If I was running your hot board, Jeffrey, and I did a percentage, I would probably go maybe slight edge Auburn right now, 55.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
I think it's fluid though.
Sure.
I really do. I don't know what he's thinking. I've talked to him recently. He told me on the phone, "Hey, I will be at Big Cat," and then he told you, "Well, I got the scheduling conflict." And
did he tell me that after he told you that?
Yeah,
he did. That's right.
It was.
And I think I quoted him on the corner because I wanted to be precise.
Yeah, I think you did.
I was, but I have practice on those days.
That's it. So he's a guy that I think is trying to get acclimated to his new schedule over there at IMG Academy. They're going to start. I'm sure they start their fall camp, so to speak, a little bit earlier than maybe some other high schools. I don't know if they have all the regulations that some of these other high schools have. So he's probably getting acclimated to that, but I think he's told me before or told us maybe in person, hey, I kind of want to get this done before my senior season.
Right.
It seems like he's making a push to do that. So if that were the case, I think sooner the better for Auburn.
Yeah, I can see that because if it draws out, then obviously it gives more cracks at the apple to A&M, to Miami to get back into it. Yeah. It also allows Texas to continue their pursuit. So I'm with you, Cole. The sooner they get this done, the better they are for TJ Lindsey for sure.
TJ Lindsey, Dimitri Nicholas, Malik Blockton. Is that a pretty solid front?
It is. It's solid, but it's not. You don't have a lot of versatility.
Oh,
you need one more guy there, I think, to help get you some versatility. Maybe a 5 technique, right?
Well, and I think TJ can be a 5, so I think there's some versatility there. But I would prefer. I don't think the impact players there. I think every one of those guys, to me, are more developmental. They're not guys that are going to come in day one and create that instant.
They're not Deron Reed.
Right.
They're not Geldrick Faulk.
Not in my opinion, not at this point. Now, in the end, could they be as good? Sure. They could develop into that. They've got those kind of skill sets. But to me, you need to land an LJ McCray or you need to land a Kamarion Franklin in this class. Mm-hmm. And that's why we've listed the numbers at 3 to 4 on the defensive line. Can you get these 3 and lock them in so that you feel good about developmental pieces for your future? And can you get that instant impact guy? Can you get that star power? And I think that's what Auburn's going to do. They're going to swing for the fence if they can lock in those other 3.
Yeah.
Robert Dale 1 has a good question here. A lot of offensive line targets have come off the board. Unfortunately for Auburn, they have gone elsewhere. Lots. Now, Jamison Riggs is still on the board.
Yes.
DeAndre Carter is still on the board.
Yes.
Reese Baker is still on the board.
Yes.
So let's throw those to the side for Mr. Robert Dale here. Which offensive line targets committed elsewhere will Auburn invest significant time and resources into throughout the season in an effort to flip?
I think Preston Tamua.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first one that comes to my mind. Even though he is a fresh commitment to Nebraska, I just don't see Auburn giving up on him.
Did he commit? I must have been gone.
He committed at like 1 a.m, which was your time while you were in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, it was not. So I don't know. I put in. That was one of the last things I did before I left was put in a prediction for him to Nebraska because I was going to see him. I was going to write that shit off, dude. I was going to see him in Honolulu, and someone close to him was like, "I don't think so. Don't waste your time." Okay, cool. Okay, so he did commit.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so you think Auburn continues to push because they were right there with Nebraska.
They were.
It might be tough. There's that personal relationship there with the offensive line coach there at Nebraska, but continue to invest in him. Continue to invest in. Are you investing in Khalil House?
Yeah.
I think you're keeping it warm. I don't know that you're investing. Let's put it that way. I think you're probably going to keep the line of communication open.
Sure.
You'll see if he wants to visit maybe in the season and realizes that California is a hell of a long way from South Georgia. You know what I mean? And maybe Auburn has a spot available for him. Maybe they don't.
Right. That's exactly right.
You know, it's a dangerous game as far as that's concerned. But I think they'll keep the line of communication. But investing, I don't know that it'll be any more than a text a week. I'm going to be honest with you.
That's exactly what I was thinking. To me, keeping warm is a text a week.
Yeah.
Hey, man, how you doing? If you want to come, let me know. We've got a bunch of games here at home. If you want to come over, great. If not, understand. But Casey Poe is a guy I'm not investing a lot in.
Not me either.
You had your shot with him.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about Caleb Holmes. Maybe you guys feel differently on that one. Maybe you double back there. I'm not sure.
Wow.
I think that one's gone too.
I'd be surprised if Auburn doubled back on him personally.
Caleb?
Yeah, I don't think that one. I could be wrong. I mean, look, anything can happen from now until December, but I don't think he's one of the lower ones to me, and one of the higher ones would be Talmua.
Yeah, I absolutely believe they're going to stay on Talmua. I think you're going to probably see some movement on some unnamed offensive linemen here before too much longer. I mean, the board has to expand, right?
Yeah.
We've discussed 3 uncommitted targets right now that we know of. Now there could be others, but 3 uncommitted that we know of. I'm sure they're going to unearth somebody here before too much longer, but you still got your number 1 offensive line target on the entire board still there in swing lineman DeAndre Carter.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
DeAndre Carter, Jamison Riggs, Reese Baker would be a nice little start to the O-line.
That would be great. That'd be very good.
If you could get those, because I think the number from the high school ranks is 4. Would you guys agree? I think that's what they would like to take is 4 to replace the 4 graduating seniors.
Sure.
Yeah.
Theoretically, that's how Kevin Steele does his.
Right. And then you would augment through the transfer portal from any other attrition and or impact players that you want to procure.
Good stuff. That's a good question there, Robert Dale. Hey, AF Auburn, outside of Ryan Williams, the 5-star wide receiver from Saraland?
Yeah.
Who, in your opinion, are guys in the 2025 class that would be takes if they wanted to commit to Auburn? Let's just throw them out as we can think of them. I would say J.J. Falk. I would say
yes.
Who's
the kid from Charles Henderson?
Oh, yeah.
Zion
Patterson.
Grady.
That's what I said.
Zion. Yeah.
Let me pull up AF because this
I'm doing that too.
Good question.
Well, I think just starting in the state of Alabama, you got Naeem offered.
How about CJ
Grady?
Alvin Henderson.
CJ May, I don't know. I don't know on that one yet.
Okay.
Maybe
Naeem offered. Did you say him?
Naeem offered. Definitely Micah Dubose. He's committed to Georgia, but yeah, definitely him.
Zayden Walker.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yes. Who's the quarterback from Loosedale?
Caleb Cunningham. I'm going through some of these wide receivers.
Deuce Knight,
who is not coming to Big Cat, by the way.
Zach was quick on that one. He loves Deuce Knight.
Yeah, well, he does love Deuce.
He's not coming, Zach. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. He's not coming to Big Cat. What?
You're like tamper those expectations, big dog.
No. I just happened. I had sent him a message about a week or 2 ago, and he finally got back to me. I think it was last night. He was like, "No, I'm not coming." I was like, "All right, cool." Zion Grady, we talked about him.
Eric Winters. That's a guy.
I was about to say
Winters.
I've heard some positive buzz there that Auburn likes that kid. So
Anquan Fegans.
He's listed as a safety, but I think he's.
I tell you what. How about Micah Dubose? Dubose, the big offensive lineman committed to Georgia. I'm not going to. Is he on the Big Cat list?
He's not.
I bet you he will be.
He might be. Or is he Viger?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 24 overall recruit, according to On3, committed to Georgia. Micah Dubose, not Dubose, but Dubose from Viger. Probably need to check in with him.
Jordan Crawford,
another guy I expect to see at Big Cat.
Yes.
Boy, they got some studs in here.
Yeah. The Alabama.
Let's go 3. I'll give you 3 more. We said Alvin Henderson. Jared Smith is another guy from Spain Park.
Yes. Maybe Derek Smith from Southside Selma.
There you go.
Definitely.
Oh, Kendarius Riddick.
Oh, yeah. From
Reddick. I'm
Thomasville.
sorry, Reddick. Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. That was Georgia. That was the wrong thing.
Tavion Wallace. That's one for sure.
Yeah.
I know he's high on the linebacker board.
Alvin Henderson, Eric Winters, J.J. Falk. Antonio Coleman is probably is a possibility. I'm just saying that he's a top 15 guy in state.
Yeah.
I'm over in Georgia. Ethan Barbour, that's the guy. Josh Petty, that's the guy that visited. They like a lot. Justice Terry, who's committed to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of guys they would take right now, I think. But
oh yeah, they're hundreds. Those are some of the guys we can think of.
Sure. And you're talking about. So let's kind of talk about this real quick.
Jalen Mosley, Zach in the back says.
Yeah. When you're recruiting juniors, your board is about 200 prospects, right? Like it is massive. And you're trying to whittle it down to about 60 guys by the time you're moving into that next class that you're kind of picking from and then adding to as you go along. But you're trying to shrink the board considerably. And what Auburn's able to do right now is as they add commitments, they're shrinking that board even more. So you're only worried about a handful by the time you get into the season.
right.
Oh, let's see. C-Rob 90's recruiting question for the recruiting show is Brian Batty. I'm just messing with C-Rob. Is Brian Batty, I believe it's the correct way Hawaiians pronounce it, expected back for the start of fall camp? What's his injury?
As per turf toe.
Oh.
As per Hugh Freeze yesterday, and I think Justin covered this, Hugh says that he's going to have to gut it out, but yes, he expects him to be ready to go.
Rub some dirt on it and get back in there, big dog.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Carnell is in Escalade. Wants to know, what will it take for Big Cat Weekend to be considered a success? It's a good question. Obviously, getting the big dogs on campus is success in itself, but we're sick of that, right?
We want some
big dogs are visiting. The hell, they visited under Harsin. But if there aren't any commitments, is that a failure? Absolutely. In my opinion, I don't think there's going to be. Listen, you strategically make sure that you leave here with at least one commitment. But so in your eyes, in both of your eyes, a successful Big Cat is what?
Cole, I'll let you go first, man.
Well, we had a caller ask the same thing Sunday night, Jeffrey, and I said, well, I know what Jeffrey would say. You got to have a commitment. Right? Is that wrong or is that right?
Hell no. That's right. Like I said, Harsin got them to visit. I don't care about them visiting. It don't matter. Sure, it's nice to have them visit, but
yeah. And Jhead, you made the point that night. Big Cat Weekend has almost consistently provided a commitment for the last few years. Even last year, there were two. Amon Lane was one of them, and Damari Austin the year before. So, you got to have one or two, maybe multiple, is what I'm thinking.
I completely agree. Two or more.
Yeah, I think for me, yes, a commitment. That goes without saying. You have to produce one of those. But I think buzz. That's what Big Cat has to produce for me for it to be considered a success. Buzz that will put Auburn in relevancy with some of these other schools that they compete against. Put us in the news cycle where people are talking about Auburn. Make it to where we're at the tip of their tongue. You remember how electric that first Big Cat was, Jeff, and the message that it sent to all the other schools that we were recruiting against. That's what you want to get out of this Big Cat for it to be a success. You want Hugh Freeze to put his mark on it, put his stamp on it, and for when guys to come out of this. Now, if you get one of those big dogs to commit, that absolutely creates buzz. But it's what these kids saying coming out of this visit that's going to really kind of determine to me, other than the commitment, how they talk about Auburn is going to be as important as who visits.
And see, last year, Cole, you said there were two commitments. For me, when I say two or more, I'm talking about 2024 guys. Last year, it was a 2024 guy in the 2023 class. Who was the other commitment?
It was our quarterback.
Adrian.
They had committed to UAB.
They had 2 underclassmen commit and nothing more, and it was a complete failure, in my opinion, because of that. There was no buzz, at least positive.
Right.
There's a lot of negative buzz coming out of there. You picked up 2 commitments, but they were underclassmen, and I feel like the success rides on whether or not Auburn can get 2 or more commitments, because I think that's what creates the buzz, Jhead. Because Jhead is right. Generally speaking, you got to create positive buzz, momentum. This is it right now for the next 6 weeks. This is it. You get 1 shot in July.
Yes.
You get 1 shot. You got 5 days or whatever it is. I think it might be 6, but anyway, 5 days or whatever until the start of the season. You got to take advantage of it.
And I'll tell you one other thing. Can you get some silence that you can put in your pocket that you can strategically stage out?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Can you get that accomplished? Because to me, and we won't know that coming directly out of Big Cat, but as you see the month of August play out, you'll know, okay? And those of us that have followed recruiting for long enough, or those that cover it, they know when there's been a silent and they've pocketed that bad boy and they're ready to break it out.
Roswell Howe, we were just talking about this guy. Any buzz with the 2025 recruit Antonio Coleman? He plans to commit in early August. Are we, Auburn, in this thing? I don't know.
I haven't heard a thing.
I don't even know. Is that AC's son?
I don't think there's a relation.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that.
He goes to Saraland, correct?
He's a Saraland guy.
And Antonio coaches at Williamson.
He's the head coach there now, correct?
So you would think his son would play for him. Unless he lives with a mom or a grandma or someone.
You never know. You never know. But I've actually talked to him one time, and it was just to see if he's going to be a Big Cat, and he's not. Or at least he said that about 2 weeks ago. So I just don't. If he's committing in August, I would say it's probably not Auburn.
Yeah, I would favor Alabama at this point. Who are the 2 Auburn commits that fans should be more thankful for, but maybe underrated for whatever the reason?
All right. Kinsley Falston's the first one that comes to my mind.
I knew you were going to say him. And I agree.
Yeah, we both agreed. Look at his tape. My goodness. That guy had 7 interceptions last year as a junior, and there's a reason for it. He's really good. I think that's important. And the other ones for me is DJ Barber.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that for sure with the importance of the linebacker position in this class.
Yep.
More thankful for. I like the Barber.
I'm going to go Fat Burnett because who are your options at running back beyond him other than Duke Watson? If you don't get Fat when you got him, obviously Kevin Riley has since committed to Miami. We're not truly in it with the other running back from Mississippi. I'm trying to think of his name.
Daniel Hill eliminated Auburn while I was gone.
Correct. Daniel Hill eliminated Auburn from consideration. If you don't have Fat, how do you feel about your running back room right now?
That's a good point.
So I think from that standpoint, there's a lot of value in making sure that we got his commitment when we got it.
You know, I think he is a little bit underappreciated, Jhead, Fat Burnett, because I
probably underappreciate him.
Yeah.
Well, he a lot of people wanted to see him because, you know, I remember I sat down, I was like, all right, I'm ready to see what this guy's capable of and get to watch a full game of him when they played at Jordan-Hare last year. Andalusia in the playoffs or state championship, and he was not unavailable to go. So a lot of people were like, well, dang, you know, that was my chance to see him. You haven't really gotten that chance now. So everybody's like, all right, well, still got to see something from him. And that's just how it goes. It's unfortunate for him because he was hurt. He wasn't able to go. But until, you know, you see some more from him, it's hard to say like he's one of the top guys in the class.
Right. And to me, it's not so – I mean, obviously, I think highly of his skill set. I do believe he's a banger. He's a power back.
Yes.
He's the guy that's going to give you a solid 15-yard. He's going to get that 15-yard run. He may not get a 40-yarder, that explosive run, but he's going to get a solid 15 to 20.
Right.
But it's the value because of the ambiguity on the running back board beyond him. That, to me, with the uncertainty that you have, how important is it to have a guy that's a blue chip prospect in your class? Regardless of where he's ranked right now, he's still a blue chip. How important is that for you? And to me, it's vastly important, not knowing who the options would be behind him.
Fruby Sips is recruiting question for the recruiting show. I can't do that with a straight face anymore.
No, you can't.
If Jarquez Hunter is not available, who Hugh Freeze, he can't comment, so we don't really know the situation with Jarquez Hunter. If he's not able to go for the first few games, Jhead, how do you see the running back rotation shaking out?
I think it's going to be Damari Alston. I think he's going to be the lead dog. Obviously, Brian Battie is going to get some snaps. How effective is he coming off that turf toe injury? Which means it opens the door to a guy, from the Hewitt-Trussville area. I think it opens the door for Sean Jackson to get some legitimate carries in a game.
44, baby.
Because how ready is the freshman going to be? He's talented. He may have the best skill set of anybody in that room, but is he going to be ready to go on day one? Cornell Williams is probably one of the best running backs. I mean, number 2 on my list in Auburn history. And he struggled a little bit early on as a freshman. It wasn't until that Georgia game that he really kind of came into his own. So in that early going, I think you're going to see a lot of Sean Jackson, and you're going to see a lot of Damari Alston. I really do.
I think ideally those are your 2 backs the first 3 quarters, maybe 2.5.
Yep.
And you better be up 35-3 by that point.
Correct.
Right. Then you don't know what Jarquez is moving forward, so you don't want to kill them.
Sure.
I'm putting in Battie. I'm putting in Jeremiah Cobb. Play those last 17 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Give them a little taste.
Right.
A little kiss. A little lick on there. O.J. Minor, NC. All right. If we miss out on DeAndre Carter, who jumps to the top of the O-line, who jumps to the top of the O-line board? Any new names surfacing on that O-line list that we may not be too familiar with? Jhead, you talked about this earlier.
Not that I feel comfortable saying right now or know for certain. I will go that direction. I firmly believe there are some names that are circulating behind the scenes that probably will become apparent sooner rather than later. But there's nobody that I feel 100% confident in. Yes, absolutely, this is a guy that we should pivot to or look at right now. But I do believe they're going to unearth some of those names here relatively soon. And my guess is you and Cole will be the ones to break that.
I tell you, man, would you feel better about an offensive lineman if he's committed to Georgia Tech or, somewhere other than a guy who is not committed and has offers from JSU and Western Kentucky?
Absolutely, you would.
Yeah.
You would much prefer to flip a guy that's from a program that's not necessarily – I mean, look, if you can flip one from the same tier as Auburn –
Right.
Right. But if you're flipping one from a Georgia Tech or a Mississippi State or somebody of that ilk, you feel a lot better than a guy that's got offers from Troy and, South Florida and whoever else. You know what I mean?
I think it becomes poaching season if you miss out on that guy instead of, under the radar Reese Baker type offer list.
Right. I think Reese Baker is that guy, the under the radar that they highly value. I don't know who else beyond him is there, but I'm with you. I think it goes into flip mode, similar to what they did this past year with, okay, we're going to go throughout this year. We're going to consistently recruit these guys, and we're going to get their ass in the class by December. We're going to get them on campus when the season ends, and we're going to show them why we're still Auburn.
I think, too, that there's a pretty good understanding, and has been for a while, that they were going to have to hit the portal again after this season for offensive line. And part of that is because of numbers. The other part is because of what we've talked about several times, not being a vast majority of big-time offensive linemen in this class.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing is when things get resolved and we're coming to the end of, I put air quotes around that, end of these recruitments with DeMarcus Riddick, Perry Thompson, KJ Bolden. Depending on what happens with those guys, then you can refocus your NIL. You get back on some of these offensive linemen that committed elsewhere that you weren't able to swing at the time. I think you're going to see a big change in offensive line recruiting because those are probably the top 3 guys on the board overall right now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Zach in the back said, against UMass, say we let Jay Lee get 20% of the carries and Cole get another 20%. You know what my carry would be? I would be that flea flicker. I'd get the hand off and turn around and flick it back.
Bro, the only thing I'm curious is that free hot dog they hand y'all guys out.
Halftime snack.
That's it, baby.
Free Gatorade.
Right back to my seat.
Oh, all right, Cliff Dweller. This is latest percentage on Riddick and Thompson, DeMarcus Riddick and Perry Thompson, trending up, down, or the same. Spill it. I'm at 50 this week, same as always, 50-50. I'm just going to tell you, I know what I hear. Yeah. I know what everybody else is hearing. Yep. I've seen it. Well, I've seen what everybody else has seen. I still don't feel comfortable going any higher than 50-50. I would not be surprised to see both of them commit to Auburn. I wouldn't be surprised to see both of them. I will have stories ready for both of them to commit to Auburn. I also wouldn't be surprised if they stuck with Alabama or flipped to Alabama. If both of them ended up at Alabama, I wouldn't be surprised. If both of them ended up at Auburn, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm 50-50.
There you go. I think that's as fair as you can be, Jeffrey. And look, there's some optimism from the Alabama side. I saw Andrew Bones' report yesterday where they expect both players to visit Alabama next week.
That's right. That's what I said. People were like, "Oh, Perry Thompson's coming to Auburn on July." Well, where's he going to be on the 28th? Where's he going to be on the 27th? So I don't think that's the end all be all.
Right. Now, their expectation is that they visit. Do they visit?
Exactly.
That to me, watching next week, and if they visit, that will tell the tape. Because if DeMarcus Riddick doesn't visit before he commits on that Thursday, then I'm feeling a lot better about Auburn's chances.
Yeah.
Especially with him already saying I'm coming to Big Cat. If Perry Thompson doesn't visit Alabama this next week, I'm feeling a lot better about Auburn's chances. But right now they expect him to. So I think you can't go any higher than 50-50 knowing that that's in the hopper.
I like it. Fair question, though. Jack O'Lantern 11. Y'all think we land any commits that haven't announced a commitment date yet during Big Cat weekend? So nobody's like Perry Thompson hasn't announced a commitment date to my knowledge, has he? Okay. So those are the kind I think Jacko's talking about.
Yeah, he indicated that he would make a final decision sometime before his senior season.
Yeah,
I think that's what Perry's on record is saying.
Yes. Surprise? I mean,
sure.
Here, I'll use an old Keith Niebuhr line. Surprise means it would be a surprise to us too, right? In other words, I don't know how to tell you.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. How would we know? It's a surprise. I don't know.
I think I'll put it this way. I think there's a possibility for multiple commits at Big Cat.
And some of those that you might put on commit watch haven't said, I'm making my announcement on August the 1st.
I can think of a couple that have not made a declaration of when they're going to do it.
So, yes, Jacko, I think we're all in the same. Nobody has said, I'm announcing my commitment on July 29th.
No.
Or July the 30th or the 31st that we're aware of. So, if any of these guys, and we'll have more leading up to that, potential commit watch, some of those guys will not have commitment dates set.
No.
Matter of fact, only one I can think of is DeMarcus Riddick.
Yeah.
Yep. He is the only one with an announced decision date because his isn't necessarily, I mean, he could recommit to Georgia and it wouldn't technically be a commitment.
Yeah.
So I guess he's calling it a decision a la LeBron James.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a top 10 overall player. Don't get me wrong.
No.
Top 15?
I think he's a top 5 overall player. I'll put LeBron in my top 5.
Okay. I'll allow it. Okay.
But probably number 5 for me.
Okay.
I reluctantly put him in my top 5.
I'll go with 4 or 5. I'll let you have that. Don't even start coming with 1 or 2. Get out of here, dude.
No. MJ is always going to be 1. Kobe's always going to be 2.
Kobe's 2.
Magic and Bird are going to be 3, 4, and LeBron's going to be 5.
That's almost my exact top 5 there, Jhead.
And the corner jump up in my mentions this week. It's the last time we talked about this. Y'all said I didn't know anything about basketball past 1995. So go ahead on this one. He's still not in my top 5.
Who?
LeBron James. I mean, LeBron James is in my top 5, but he's number 5.
5.
He's not number 1. He's not the GOAT. Never will be.
Not even I mean, I guess he's
Zach,
5.
it's ridiculous.
We got a millennial jumping in here. Watch out, folks.
Zach, you can go ahead and clip that and put it on
Zach,
TikTok.
Zach,
Get all the haters in here.
You might be a Z. Are you a Z?
No, he's yeah, I think he is Z actually.
1996. Great day in the
Oh,
morning.
he's a millennial, I think.
I'm not even going to try to do the math on that, man.
I don't even know. I graduated in 94, which doesn't help the math at all. I have no idea how long I've been graduated. 94, 24 would be 30 years. So 24, 30, and 24. So it's been 29 minus the 2 for 27. You're 27, or you'll be 27.
If you graduated in 94, that would be 29 years because that is how old I am.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
For those
so what are you?
Yeah.
I was born in 94.
Are you are you of the man bun generation?
That's Gen Z, right?
I don't know.
I don't think it's like a great thing to be a millennial either, but I think that's what I am.
Oh,
I think Jessica is. I think you're too young, Cole.
Yeah. A rare Benjamin woke comment with the man coming in.
Let's settle this.
What generation is born 94, 96?
I got this. All right, millennials, 1981 to 1996.
Oh,
so I am a millennial then.
Zach makes the cut.
All right, and then Gen Z would be after that.
Gen X, big dog. Yeah, Zach got December. I was born in December too.
He just made it, didn't he?
Oh, I was December 31st.
Really?
At 6:30 at night. Yep. Everybody celebrates my birthday.
Yeah, you're right.
But that means nobody celebrates my birthday.
Yeah. People.
Everybody's got
that's sad.
Everybody's got their own plans on my birthday. It's like, hey,
they lump it all together. Birthday, Christmas, New Year. Here you go, Jeffrey. Here's a present for all that.
I walk around on New Year's going, thanks for noticing me. My mama's the only one who wished me a happy birthday. Happy New Year to you too, sir.
That's a pretty good Eeyore. I'm not gonna lie.
I've had a lot of practice.
I can only imagine. I bet Brooks got a lot of stories in that voice.
Oh, all right. Let's get some how about yous and wrap it up. I've got 4.
Okay.
That I will wait on. If y'all have any.
I got 3.
Ooh.
Stats don't matter.
Okay.
Good week from him. Eli Double-Lot.
Okay.
Good week for Eli. And then how about you one more time for Jeffrey and Jessica?
Ow.
Back from Hawaii, newlywed with a tan and some nice bird dog shorts.
Oh.
How about you?
Much obliged to you.
All right, I got 3.
Okay, no.
BBP.
BBP, great poster there.
BDYE.
BDA.
Got the the initial people. And then old Donald Mitchell.
Hey.
Old Donnie.
Yeah.
Hell of a poster.
And go ahead and times 2 me for Jeffrey Lee there.
All right. Copycat. He just said it because you did, Jhead.
Well, he did it last week, so I had to.
Oh, he did? Let me tell you something. I got you. How about you to Deb for AU, who said before I left, well, how'd you get her to marry you? I don't know what the hell's going on right here. How'd you do that, Everly? Deb jealous. She's jealous. I'll put you on the on-deck circle, Deb, if Jessica decides to transfer her out.
Jumps in the marriage portal.
How about you to Weagle 06, who has self-proclaimed himself the senior snack analyst of the corner.
Oh, I like this honorary title.
We need to know this man or woman.
Yeah. What snacks are you? What snacks do you like?
Yeah, what are we talking about here? Are you a fruit guy? Because I did have some good pineapple.
I bet you did while you were a little mango action while you were down.
Yeah, I learned how to pick.
Yeah, I bet.
I tell you what, you ever drink a Mai Tai?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I have not.
Dude, that was my first time. Oh, no. Now, they were 16 They weren't that good.
I was going to say.
Well, I guess they had to be because I ordered about 3 or 4 more. How about you to BM Harp?
Yeah.
Who, Keith made his reappearance.
Yes, he did.
And he was like, he said, "Hey, baby, wake up. Keith's back."
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
He's consistently funny. He's
Yeah,
go back
he
and look
is,
at his posts.
I lost it. That's good stuff. How about you to Zach in the back?
Yes.
How about you to Zach in the back for coming to the front and holding it down like a champ? You did a fantastic job, big dog, big millennial dog. Speaking of dogs, don't forget your bird dogs, man. Don't forget. I'm telling you, dude. These are really good. Bird dogs, man. Look at that. Go check it out. birddogs.com/caps, all caps, Auburn. Use that promo code, get you a free Yeti tumbler, big dog. Now, this is a Yeti style tumbler. So I don't know if that's like the great value Yeti.
Could be. But hey,
either way, dude, it's free.
In my house, there was no differential when I was growing up, brother. I thought great value was the best thing. Great value and best yet. Best things you can have, man.
My great value was better than your good value.
There you go.
Great show, man. Thank you all for everything. I appreciate all the congratulations, the doubts that y'all had about me being able to secure this 5-star. But I am the recruiter of the year, self-proclaimed, just like Wiggle 06. And my wedding band did break though.
Ooh, you had one of those rubber ones, dude.
I do. I have one. Okay. But listen, me and Jessica were on Maya. What's it called? Maui.
Yeah.
And we walked over to this crafts show. Yeah. And they had the most beautiful wedding bands for men. And it was koa wood, tungsten with koa wood, and it was the mountains, and this was representing the sea. It was beautiful, man. So I was like, man, all got those rubber ones. I don't give a shit about the rubber. I swear, I don't care, right? I don't care if it's fancy or not, but it was like beautiful. And so bought it. She bought it for me. It's tungsten.
Hey.
I air for you, Cole, because 2 days later, some bitch broke. We got had, dude. We got had. $100 for that thing. $100. The tungsten broke. It was awful. I lost it, so I don't care.
Hey, while you were gone, Jeffrey, I lost my wedding ring, man. I had it for 4 years.
4 years?
Lost it in the river.
Sweet. That's a great place for it, man. So, Amazon.com, here I come. I think they make them for about $7-8 these days. But
$7, baby.
There you go. Hey, great show. We appreciate everybody, man. I certainly do appreciate everybody. Certainly appreciate. How about you to Jhead? How about you to Cole Pinkston? Also, y'all holding it down. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate y'all. And we'll be back Sunday night. Looking forward to the call-in show. I hope everybody else is. Sunday night, 6:30 on the YouTube channel. And one more thing. We got 6,000 plus subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. We hit 6K. Huge milestone for us. You guys continue to like and subscribe. Please help those numbers go up. That's what helps us keep this content available and free to you. It's invaluable, and we just appreciate all y'all's support.
Whew. We'll see y'all Sunday, man. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. For Jhead, for Cole, for Zach in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee. Y'all stay out of that left lane. See ya.